Sure, abuti honestly.
We continued today, and we arrested more illegal foreigners, including Pakistani officials, nationals. That we found that they have fraudulent asylum papers, as picked up by the immigration officers that joined us on this particular operation. Look, you have to start somewhere. This thing is a pandemic of illegal foreigners who have hijacked our buildings, of illegal foreigners who have occupied our cities and towns and villages. It's a pandemic. So, but we have to start somewhere. New York was worse than Johannesburg. New York was turned around by Ruth Giuliani. Salvador was a pandemic. It was worse than Johannesburg. It was turned around by Bukele, who is now the president of El Salvador. I can make many examples. So nothing is impossible in turning around Johannesburg. Yesterday, when we raided this building that had a squatter camp inside it and a crash of very sick children that were also looked after by children, a lot of people thought that we could not make it because they said Inkabisa in that building. They said syndicates that are collecting from those people are going to fight back. But we are government. We can't be afraid of criminals. So we are starting somewhere. It will address these problems. Today I was in Randburg, and in the CBD of Randburg, we also went to Windsor. And the community of Windsor of South Africans appreciated our presence there. Let me make an example. I was in a meeting with COGTA today. The chairperson of COGTA was there. And in my address to them, I asked them as members of parliament to look at the property laws, because the property laws as they stand encourage criminality. The property laws do not define criminality. That if somebody stays in a building that they have hijacked, they can't be evicted, they must be arrested. That is why NGOs have taken advantage of this. And we hear that some NGOs are being paid a retainer by the same hijackers of buildings, so that when people are evicted, they then jump to courts. Once you evict or you evacuate people, same time, NGOs are around, which means these people are on a speed dial.
Let me ask you then about that.
So it's an allegation that I have heard from 2023 that some of the NGOs are on a retainer of these hijackers. We are still investigating who are those. But you see, some of the things require one to be in a permanent power position of, let's say, premier or mayor. Because I'm concerned at the moment about South Africa, but I'm also in Johannesburg. If I make Johannesburg a free zone, illegal immigrants free zone, whether national response to borders immediately or not, at least within the borders of Johannesburg, illegal immigrants will know that there it is a no-go zone. They will know that there you get arrested, there you get deported out of the borders of Johannesburg. Then we will have the city of Johannesburg as an example to the country to say this can be done. So I am starting somewhere.
So, Mr. Kunene.
No, I'm doing service delivery. We have a pandemic. This issue is close to my heart as a citizen of South Africa, as a resident of Johannesburg. Today I went to Randburg and Windsor. We found that some blocks of flats where majority is illegal foreigners, they have connected electricity, and the meters that are there, the city cannot find them in the system. They owe the city around 8 million, which means they owe the city more. There's another one that owes the city 9 million. There's others where Pakistanis have shops at the bottom, but they are drawing electricity from the residential flats. So the electricity that they are using is not accounted for as business. So it it's not about campaigning. It is about the passion to get our city back, about getting our country back, but also about implementing the manifesto of the Patriotic Alliance, which is the party that has deployed me to be in the city of Johannesburg as an MMC, and to make sure that I achieve what the parties desire to achieve for people of South Africa. I don't know their names, but I am told that there are these syndicates. The people that stay in these buildings tell us that there are people that come to collect money from them every month. So it shows that there is that syndicate. It comes from Italians, it comes from Indians, Greeks, Afrikaners, South African black people, Nigerians, DRC, Zimbabweans. So everybody is in that space and they are killing each other. But I am saying, if one is able to have total control in Johannesburg to lead, one will be able to use the resources within Johannesburg to be able to mitigate all these challenges. Obviously, we will need the intervention of South African police from national, not even at local level, or from the province, so that they can back us up to clean. We are government. We cannot fail to deal with criminality and criminals. We will destroy those syndicates. We will hand over buildings to their rightful owners. The city will claim its buildings back. And those that do not have owners, we will expropriate them and partner with the private sector to make Johannesburg look better than it used to be. So we are government. We cannot say we can't. We can. If you looked at today, I showed how the illegal immigrants are destroying our bridges, staying under our bridges, doing fire, and this heat taking away the sealant between the bridge. You can see the space. You can see the cracks under our bridges. So we cannot sit back and say, hey, this is too much. We might not deal with it. I want to start somewhere and go. They will know. In fact, I have said it publicly. It is for law enforcement to have investigated. Unfortunately, I'm not in charge of law enforcement. Had the president given us South African Police Service to run, and Gayton McKenzie were the Minister of Police, I would have been able to say, hey, Baba, we have this challenge in the city of Johannesburg. Can you please assist? So, but I am saying, as we move forward with the interventions that I'm making, I think that the South African police, the Minister of Police, will also want to come on board so that we can deal with this pandemic that our country is facing.
Thank you very much. In the first building, quickly, we also found out that the Pakistani shop on the street, they are also taking electricity from the residential building. And the connection was not proper. That is why we then decided to cut off. They owe the city, in the words of one of the residents, millions. They say they've made an arrangement, but they couldn't give us any proof of arrangement. We checked with the office. There is no such arrangement that has been made. That's why we cut off. And then we came here. The office sent the RD that the city is owed over 2 million. We have got proof of that. However, when we get here, and the team now takes the picture of the meter, sends it to the office for the office to check, because that's what we do. The office finds that this meter is unaccounted for. So these people have this meter that they've connected to the power outside on the street, and they have connected, they have done another meter there, not a meter, a power supply that goes straight into the building. So which is also an illegal connection that is hazardous. So which means they are not owing the city over 2 million. They are owing the city more because they've been using electricity that the city cannot account for. So we are cutting off, we are taking out this whole meter. We are taking out the meter there by the block of flats there, because these meters are illegal. They are not accounted for. They've been stealing electricity from the city. That is why I'm saying that we need to criminalize theft of electricity and water. It is going on in a rate that is unprecedented. We also just sent another building that owes the city over 9 million. So the city is complaining about revenue collection, but yet the city is sitting with serious millions around the suburbs that are not being paid. So it is my duty to make sure that at least whilst I'm acting, the city at least saves electricity or gets paid. If they want a proper meter here, they must go to City Power, a proper meter must be installed, but they must pay the arrears that we have seen here. So that is the challenges that we are facing with. This is our last building for today. However, I want to go to the 9 million one, but we will come back because I'm told that there's others that owe over 10 million. In this vicinity, also in the city in the inner city, in Weinberg, so different suburbs, Rosettenville, GP's Town, where illegal immigrants are. Electricity of the city is being stolen, and now I can safely say into billions. Into billions, because if one block of flats can owe 9 million, how many buildings are there? No, we know that there are syndicates that are working with these illegal immigrants, that are working with South Africans who don't want to pay rates. We know that there's a syndicate, and we have spoken about it in the mayoral committee, and we are looking at ways to investigate, because it's a very complex syndicate, but I think we will get there. Now that we know the depth of the problem, how deep it is, I think when I do a report to the mayoral committee and to the mayor when he comes back, we will be able, I'll also propose the way forward in dealing with this scourge that we are faced with. And let me thank 405 for spending the day with us, so that newsroom, communication is important. And when we speak about the impact of illegal immigrants, and when we say the city is not collecting revenue, that's why we can't do service delivery. People think that we are lying. But I want to say big up to newsroom for being with us the whole day, so that they can show residents of Johannesburg and South Africans the impact of the loss that we are experiencing as a country and as citizens. Thank you very much.
Xolani, one of the main concerns I have as a resident of Johannesburg, but also as an MMC and now as executive mayor, is the illegal connections of water and electricity, but also the hijacked buildings. This thing of hijacked buildings it's just going on unabated. It has been normalized. Syndicates are even killing each other to take control of buildings that have been turned into squatter camps within the buildings. Young children are growing up in these buildings that are very unhealthy, very uninhabitable, where criminality thrives. So children are growing in an environment of crime, of drug abuse, of rape. So unfortunately, as the Ministry of Transport, I can only focus on my portfolio. And that is why when I am trusted with this responsibility of acting as the mayor, because as the mayor, you can then talk to all MMCs and lead programs. That is why I have decided to lead this program. That one seeks to achieve the shutting down of hijacked buildings, evacuate South Africans, give them alternative shelter, get illegal immigrants into the police cells so that they can be processed legally and deported, but also to assist the residents of Johannesburg, the law-abiding residents of Johannesburg who are paying for services, yet the buildings adjacent to them are connecting illegally to their electricity supply and water supply. Yeah. So that is why today we disconnected the illegal connection of electricity, and we're going to continue doing this. When the mayor comes back, I'm going to ask him that I continue with public safety to disconnect electricity. And I think that will be the first step in discouraging these criminals from hijacking our buildings.
Yeah.
Well, today was a very successful program, which was a multi-departmental program. We had the MMC of EISD, Jack Squire, responsible for City Power and Joburg Water. We had MMC Public Safety, responsible for JMPD and EMS. And then we had MMC of Transport and the acting executive mayor. So one of the things that we found was that there's many illegal immigrants residing in this building at 242 Marshalltown, mostly from Tanzania and Zimbabwe. These immigrants some of them have got passports, but the Tanzanian and the Zimbabwean passports have got the same stamp dated the same date in May, which means, and we can see even immigration officers said, no, this stamp is not the stamp that is being used.
Yeah.
So somebody has got a fraudulent stamp stamping passports every 2 months or 3 months to legalize these people. So that is the first demeanor or criminality that we found. The second one, actually, is the creation of a squatter camp inside the building. A building that has got different floors, but you find shacks like shacks inside this particular building. And we understand that there are people who are collecting 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, depending on the size of your squatter camp within that building. And the residents within the building confirmed this to us. The other demeanor, obviously, the other illegality is their connections. Wires are everywhere. In fact, whilst we are still busy there doing inspection, 2 wires just fell on the floor and we saw sparks. So we could have been hurt there. Yeah. But and then is the uncleanliness, is the unsafe building, the emergency escape is broken. It's on one of the floors. There's only one entrance. You can't go out on the other side. Because there are shacks that have blocked that site. So in the case of fire, it's going to be a disaster there. Yeah. So there are these things. Then you've got the smell of drugs. We did not find any drugs, but most of the shacks were locked. Some of them, because we could hear movement inside them, we broke down the doors, but some of them, most of them were locked. We will go back in the early hours of the morning at some time, but tomorrow we are meeting with the MMC of Social Development to establish if we have got alternative shelter, because we want to evacuate all South Africans, and those who are legal and those who are illegal must then be deported. That is why we have now arrested over 40 illegal immigrants that were put in the back of the JMPD bakkies to be taken to the police station to be processed. No. Well, it's not a political statement. I'm an executive in the office of the City of Johannesburg, and I've got a responsibility to look after the interests of the City of Johannesburg. The city is having challenges of revenue collection. We've got over 600 buildings that have been hijacked, private, including city. If we correct this, the city is going to see more revenue collection coming in and therefore more service delivery happening. Yeah. At the moment, I cannot even do or fix more potholes the way I want to, because we do not collect enough revenue, not because there's no capacity. So we cannot achieve service delivery targets that we are setting for ourselves because of lack of revenue collection. Yet, these hijacked buildings, people are paying criminals the money that's supposed to be coming to the City of Johannesburg and more. This building that we raided today we understand that the people, the guys, the syndicates are collecting around 120,000 rands per month. And that's why they keep killing each other. One collects over 3 months, 6 months, they kill him, they take over, because they're collecting a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's not a political statement. It's being patriotic. It's loving the country and loving the city and seeing the impact of illegal immigrants, criminality within our city.
All right.
So and our cities have also downtown Joburg, the suburbs around it, Hillbrow, Yeoville, now Randburg also, Terfontein, Rosettenville, Mayfair. They are so filthy. They have become suburbs that are controlled by illegal immigrants who have got more firepower than South Africans. So it is about correcting these wrongs that have become normal.
All right.
Fortunately, President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa confirmed when he came to the city of Johannesburg that I spoke to him months ago. I sent him a report on the state of the infrastructure of Johannesburg: bridges, road infrastructure, stormwater infrastructure. And I asked, because that particular report was a business case that had the numbers, how much it will cost to fix each and every infrastructure that we had identified as collapsing. So the president confirmed that. And the president confirmed that I was foretelling what we are seeing today. I had spoken to some of the leaders at National last year around December, after it was announced that South Africa is hosting G20. And I said, to fix the infrastructure of Johannesburg, we need to start now. So it is not in my hands. It is above my pay grade. If we get money tomorrow to mitigate the road infrastructure and other challenges facing Johannesburg, I can assure you that we will be able to work day and night and make sure that when G20 comes, Johannesburg looks better. But every delay of allocating funds to Johannesburg, to JRA, to be able to respond to these challenges is costing us. So I cannot guarantee that the city will be looking better when G20 comes, because the city's revenue collection cannot mitigate these challenges. And that is why we appreciated the president's intervention with the Presidential Working Committee coming in and saying they want to support the city. They are aware of our challenges. They are meeting officials. They are briefing them.
Right.
Unfortunately, what has not come is money. Faki mali uzobona. Kenya chelete ubone harisebita.
Nothing. Sure, I would do ownership.